Coming up live, Junkanoo in Fox Hill kicks off the Emancipation Day celebrations.
What's going to happen with the old terminal? Well, airport officials reveal their proposed plans. That story coming up in the Bahamas tonight.
And is the San Salvador airport big enough for the economic boom on the island? Find out. The Bahamas tonight. The national report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope you're enjoying your Emancipation Day holiday. Well, topping the news tonight, traditional Emancipation Day festivities were a bittersweet event in Fox Hill today. Hundreds converged in the old village to mark freedom from slavery. But a shooting which took the lives of 3 of its members was not far from the minds of Fox Hillians. Our Fern Carey was there for the Emancipation Day church service.
Residents of Fox Hill gathered at the parade grounds to celebrate the 180th anniversary of the abolition of slavery from the British Empire, known as Emancipation Day in the Bahamas. On hand for the occasion, Governor General Her Excellency Dame Margaret Pinley, who noted that the event was a defining moment in Bahamian history.
I am therefore asking all Bahamians to please put aside their individual differences, be it political, social, cultural, and economic, and let us celebrate the victory of that struggle for equality and freedom for all. Working together would make the task go so much easier to achieve the progress we all aim for our country.
Area MP Fred Mitchell dedicated Emancipation Day to the 4 people gunned down last December during that multiple shooting in Fox Hill.
Today, we remember especially Claudino Davis, Eric Morrison, Shanique Sands, and Shaquille Demerit, and we honor their families. On Wednesday, the 6th of August, at 7 p.m., we intend to break ground for the construction of the monument to be built in their memory.
Activities will continue throughout the week, climaxing next week Tuesday with Fox Hill Day celebrations. Fern Carey, ZNS Network News.
Well, there was dancing in the street in Fox Hill early this morning as the annual Emancipation Day Junkanoo Rush was held. Hundreds turned out in the wee hours of the morning for one of the biggest events of the day.
It wasn't a competition, but don't tell that to this crew. It's a tradition for one of the oldest communities in New Providence, and in Fox Hill, they start early. It was also perhaps a time of healing, as hundreds danced at the spot where just 8 months ago, 3 people were shot dead. But clearly today, a different spirit took over. Bahamians don't need a reason to dance the Junkanoo, but with the freedom that Fox Hillians are seeking from a sobering memory, this day may have signaled the start of happy times again.
Well, to continue with Fox Hill Emancipation Day activities, our cameras also visited the Fox Hill Park and Roundabout as the Fox Hill Festival got underway there. The festival is a part of a week of activities leading up to Fox Hill Day next Tuesday, and as community leaders tell us, the festival is a great way to bring the village together.
It's really important because it brings back family. You know, family comes from all over, especially on Fox Hill Day. saying that it's not a holiday, and we really take that time off to celebrate each other.
The committee fed the older folks of the village and some young folks also, and then they are going to have the climate a greasy pole later on this afternoon, the planting and the maypole, and then we'll run activities on until Tuesday, which is Foxley, next week Tuesday.
Well, the community of Gambier also brought in the Emancipation Day holiday with a fair of their own. It'll go on until about 11:30 tonight with live entertainment. Fair organizer Mr. Rolle says the objective is to allow members of the community to earn some extra money.
The Gambier Association itself is fundraising fund. We here just to allow the vendors, most of them are Gambierians, to make some money for their economic reasons. All right. But the association itself is just putting it on it for their use, for the people of Gambia.
With just a few weeks left before the new school year begins, education officials are appealing to those teachers who don't wish to return in September to provide the Ministry of Education adequate notice of their departure. Education Minister, the Honorable Jerome Fitzgerald, noted that there's an ongoing challenge with teachers handing in resignations just days before the new school term begins. He made this appeal.
Do not tell us on your way to the airport. Do not drop off your resignation 2 days before. It really puts a strain on the ministry, and it's unfair to the children within our schools. And every year we have to go through this, which causes us a lot of stress here at the Ministry of Education, and it's not fair to our students. So I just implore those teachers who know that they're not going to return in September, your salaries will be paid. Just let us know during this month of August.
Meantime, Mr. Fitzgerald noted that repairs to some 160 public schools are expected to be completed in time. He pointed out that over the last 3 years or so, contractors have been focusing on making sure the buildings are structurally sound.
Much of it we did over the last 2 years, and so there was not that much of it left. Some of the schools that when I came in required, one or two of them required up to $400,000 worth of work back then, and so we did it over a period of 3 years, and so this is now the final work that we're doing. So we're satisfied that after this year that most of the physical plant will pretty much be at a standard where we now feel comfortable we can go on a very aggressive schedule to start building a couple new schools in the country, but we want to make sure that the physical plant was up to standard.
Well, still on education, Prospect for College President Dr. Rodney Smith is speaking out about the controversy which has erupted since it was revealed he was on a list of candidates interested in the position of College of the Bahamas president. The former president resigned 9 years ago after a plagiarism scandal. In a press release issued this weekend, Smith conceded that he made a serious mistake and that he deeply regrets the mistake and the embarrassment it caused. He adds that it was and remains his decision to accept full responsibility for it, and that he's determined to use his experience to teach students and others of the importance of exercising good judgment and about consequences associated with carelessness in academia. He also says he's deeply grateful for the show of support and trust that the faculty, staff, and students of the college have shown, along with relatives and supporters from the Bahamas and the U.S. Smith says, as a Bahamian who is committed to the development of our country, he asks that everyone focus on the future for our generations of Bahamians yet to come. Now, Smith was recently recommended to the Minister of Education by the College Council to fill the position left vacant by the resignation of Betsy Vogelbose. In other news tonight, many are calling the Lynden Pindling International Airport the jewel of the Caribbean, with its 3 brand new state-of-the-art terminals now operational. But there remains a nagging issue for the Nassau Airport Development Company: what to do with the old domestic terminal, which has become quite an eyesore. Our Sieska Adderley has this.
It was once a hustle and bustle of activity, but now the old domestic terminal at Lynden Pindling International Airport continues to deteriorate since it closed several years ago. It's an issue Nassau Airport Development Company officials hope to resolve by next summer. CEO Vernice Walkine revealed they're still considering a proposal for an airport hotel, which she believes will be feasible and extremely beneficial to airport users.
You have a lot of domestic travelers who could spend the night and get an early flight out the next morning. You have a lot of visitors coming in whose flight gets in too late for them to connect the same day to another domestic destination, and they need to spend the night. There are airline crews. There are all kinds of audiences for such a hotel.
Walkine anticipates pitching a proposal for a 120-room hotel that would benefit the developer and the airport.
If that happens, then that developer would be responsible for demolition of the old terminal to make the site ready for that development. If that doesn't happen anytime soon, then NAD has to make a decision as to how it wants to treat that, because we cannot continue to allow the old terminal to sit.
A $25 million four-star resort coupled with an office and conference center was initially proposed in 2012 for LPIA. Last March, Walkine had confirmed NAD wanted to conclude a deal by the end of the year. However, she's now hopeful the matter will soon be finalized. Moreover, NAD's offices are still located in the airport's old domestic terminal, and with it being somewhat of an eyesore, Walkine believes it no longer makes good business sense to operate from there.
Every time it rains heavily, the building floods, and it's very expensive to cool this very inefficient old building. So it doesn't make sense for any of us to stay in here for too much longer. So we propose to get out of here as well. We've provided spaces for our staff on the third floor of Terminal B, which is the arrivals terminal. So we will be developing our plans to outfit that space so that we can move by next summer.
Siaska Adderley, ZNS Network News.
The economic boom residents on San Salvador are experiencing, coupled with the year-round booked-out Club Med Columbus Isles Resort, has placed a major strain on the small island-style international airport there. Residents say they've outgrown the tiny terminal now that there's an international-length runway and several regular international flights. Airport manager Pedro Williams.
We are the gateway to the new world, and this is where it all began. I think it's only fitting that that we can extend some of the services that anyone would expect at an LPIA here in San Salvador.
How challenging is it to operate the airport you're operating now, space-wise?
It's somewhat of a daunting task at times, based on the amount of passengers we have to clear on a weekly basis, But we make do with the limited resources that we have, and like I said, we get the job done. That's the bottom line. We get the job done in a safe and efficient environment.
Now, according to Island Administrator Harvey Roberts, the airport operates 3 international flights each week. Air Canada comes in from Montreal, Spirit operates a charter from Italy, and a direct jet service operated by XL Air France from Paris. Bahamas Air also operates 1 daily flight. Security screening is done next to the terminal building in a trailer.
In the EDS agreement that was signed last October by the government with Sun & Ocean, which is Club Med Perry & Company, the airport, and government announced in Parliament a couple of days ago that San Salvador, along with the other 3 or 5 airports, are in the pipeline to be upgraded. So we're looking forward to that very much. We've outgrown that airport, and we also outgrown, we need fuel as well, and that is also a part of the new airport.
Well, still ahead tonight, find out why you may not have been able to get on Facebook on your phone last night. And then we'll tell you what the next step may be for swimmers this year. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Lux Men's Warehouse.